Do you know what a TFSA is?
That little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat.
No. In today's video, you will learn everything you need to know about the TFSA. So if you want to take advantage of one of the most powerful investment tools available for Canadians, make sure you watch this video till the end. What is a TFSA? TFSA stands for Tax-Free Savings Account, but don't let the name fool you. This account is primarily useful as an investment account. The TFSA is a government-registered account that allows you to hold qualified assets in it to grow tax-free. In traditional non-registered accounts, any interest earned as well as capital gains or dividends from a stock are subject to taxation. In a TFSA, however, you don't need to pay any taxes on asset value increases or dividend payments with the exception of US dividends as long as you follow the rules. Firstly, any Canadian resident who has reached the age of majority and possesses a valid SIN can open a TFSA. TFSAs can be opened at your local bank, credit union, investment brokerage, online investment platforms, insurance companies, and with a financial advisor. In a TFSA, you're able to hold cash or use that cash to purchase various investment options such as GICs, bonds, stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, REITs, options, and even precious metals. However, there are some restrictions on what you can't hold in a TFSA, including real estate, cryptocurrencies, and peer-to-peer loans. Additionally, day trading stocks is not allowed in a TFSA. One of the most important rules to understand is your contribution room. This is how much money you're able to deposit into a TFSA. Since 2009, the government has been adding contribution room to the TFSA every year. For 2023, the contribution room is $6,500. In 2022, it was $6,000, and so on going back to 2009. Your total contribution room depends on the year you turned 18. If you were born in 1991 or earlier, you have the maximum contribution room, which is currently $88,000. Contribution room is cumulative, meaning you can carry forward any unused amounts. For example, if you turned 18 just 2 years ago, you only have the contribution room for the last 2 years. If you turned 18 10 years ago, you have the contribution room for the last 10 years. Additionally, your contribution room starts accumulating from the year that you moved to Canada and received the SIN if you were not born in Canada and became a resident. However, if you become a non-resident of Canada, your contribution room will not continue to grow until you return. Managing your contribution room can be tricky when you sell assets at a gain or loss. If you sell an asset at a gain, that gain is added to your contribution room. For instance, if you just turned 18 and you have $6,500 in contribution room and you buy stocks worth $6,500 that later increase by $1,000, if you sell and withdraw that cash, next year you can deposit the original $6,500 plus the $1,000 gain, as well as the new contribution room for that year. Now, if you sell an asset at a loss, your contribution room is permanently reduced by the loss amount, regardless of whether you withdraw the funds or not. For example, if you bought $6,500 worth of stocks, they decreased by $1,000 and you sold them, your contribution room will be permanently reduced by $1,000. Next year, your contribution room will be $5,500 from the withdrawal plus the new contribution room for the year. It's important to note that capital losses cannot be claimed within a TFSA. If you find yourself confused about your TFSA room, you can log into your CRA account to check your contribution room for the year. However, keep in mind that this information will only be up to date as of January 1st, so any contributions made throughout the year will not be reflected. What happens if you overcontribute? It's your responsibility to ensure that you do not exceed your contribution limit. If you do overcontribute, there is a penalty of 1% per month on the overcontribution. For instance, if you overcontributed $1,000, you'd be subject to a $10 penalty for each month until you correct the overcontribution. You might also be wondering how many TFSAs can you have? You can open multiple TFSAs as long as the total contributions across all your TFSAs do not exceed your contribution limit. Understanding the rules for withdrawing from your TFSA is also important. You are allowed to withdraw any amount from your TFSA at any time. However, withdrawing from your TFSA does not reduce the total amount of contributions you have made throughout the year. The contributions you withdrew will only be added back into your contribution room at the beginning of the following year. For instance, if you withdraw $1,000, you can add back that $1,000 plus the new year's contribution limit when January arrives. If you have $80,000 of contribution room, you can deposit $1,000 withdraw it, deposit it again, and repeat this process up to 80 times before reaching your contribution limit. Who is the TFSA for? This account is suitable for both short-term and long-term investors. The TFSA can be used to grow funds for a short-term goal, such as a down payment on a house, or a long-term goal, such as retirement. Paying capital gains tax can significantly impact your investment returns, so choosing a TFSA over a non-registered account is a no-brainer. While it's advisable to utilize your TFSA room for investing, if you have additional room available, you can hold cash and earn tax-free interest. Now, if you're ready to open up your first TFSA, be sure to check out one of the videos on the right of the screen. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep making money moves. Peace!